Rangers, today's news is packed with drama. From a potential shake-up against Hearts to an eye-watering £8 million bid for Hamza Igamani, there's no shortage of big headlines. Plus, could an ibrox boycott really be on the cards? Stick around, because the twists and turns in this one will keep you hooked until the very end. Rangers manager Philippe Clement finds himself under mounting pressure as his side heads to Tynecastle this Sunday to face Hearts, with the shadow of that humiliating Scottish Cup exit against Queen's Park still looming large. The defeat, a 1-0 embarrassment at Ibrox, left a bitter taste, and now the league becomes the only viable path to redemption for this proud club. With the stakes sky high, Clement is expected to make 4 key changes to his starting 11. The ever-reliable Jack Butland looks set to reclaim his spot between the posts, replacing Liam Kelly after his limited outing. In defense, John Souttar is tipped to return alongside Jeff Day, Robin Propper, and Captain James Tavernier, who will be desperate to redeem himself following that costly missed penalty. In midfield, Nico Raskin is likely to step back into the fray, taking over from young Bailey Rice. The Belgian, alongside Mohamed Diamande, will need to set the tempo and dominate the midfield battle if Rangers are to leave Gorgie with all 3 points. Further up the park, Nedim Bajrami appears to be the casualty of Clement's tactical reshuffle. The Albanian midfielder is expected to drop to the bench, paving the way for Hamza Igamani to shift to the wing. This adjustment would make room for Cyril Desire to lead the line once again, with Ianis Haji and Václav Cerny retaining their places despite underwhelming performances in the cup disaster. Desires, who showed glimpses of urgency after being introduced at half-time against Queen's Park, will carry the burden of finding the net in a fixture where the margin for error is razor-thin. Hearts, buoyed by their strong home support, will be eager to add to Rangers' recent misery. This clash could prove pivotal, not just for Clement's job security, but for the trajectory of the entire league campaign. Anything less than a convincing win will only amplify the noise surrounding his tenure. If Philippe Clement fails to secure a win at Tynecastle, should the Rangers board act decisively and show him the door before the title race slips away entirely? Alan Shearer's words have sent a jolt through Ibrox as the fallout from Rangers' Scottish Cup humiliation against Queen's Park continues to dominate headlines. The former Newcastle captain, who watched Rangers dismantle Celtic with a sensational 3-0 victory just 6 weeks ago, admitted his shock at the club's nosedive in form. From the elation of crushing their fiercest rivals to the embarrassment of being dumped out by a second-tier side, this roller coaster season has left fans questioning Philippe Clement's future. Shearer, speaking with Betfair, didn't call for Clement's head outright, but issued a stark reminder: at a club like Rangers, the rules are crystal clear. Winning isn't optional, it's the bare minimum. "You know the rule when you go into Rangers or Celtic, you have to win," said the Premier League's record goal scorer. "If you go into a cup competition and go out like they did, you're going to be under huge pressure." The silence from the Ibrox board has been deafening. No public backing for Clement, no statement of intent, just an air of uncertainty hanging over Govan. Clement, who once looked like the man to wrestle domestic dominance back from Celtic, is now on the brink, with some fans wondering if he has the resilience and tactical nous to steady the ship. But Shearer's disbelief reflects a wider point. How did this squad, the same group that tore Celtic apart, collapse so spectacularly against Queen's Park? Was it complacency, tactical errors, or something more systemic within the club's culture and mentality? Should Philippe Clement be given the time to turn things around, or has the cup humiliation proven beyond doubt that he's not the man to lead Rangers back to glory? The discontent among Rangers supporters has reached boiling point, with talk of fans boycotting Ibrox in response to the club's alarming downward spiral, with some now considering staying away from matches entirely. Derek Ferguson, a former Rangers player turned pundit, has suggested that supporters might vote with their feet. The Union Bears already made their stance clear with a walkout, but we could now see Ibrox emptier than ever as fans lose patience with the lack of direction, Ferguson told Ibrox News. The frustration is palpable out of both domestic cups and trailing Celtic by 13 points. The league now feels like a procession of meaningless fixtures. CEO Patrick Stewart's public backing of Clement hasn't eased tensions. If anything, it has intensified the scrutiny. Ferguson was blunt. The manager is settling for second best. 13 points behind Celtic is simply unacceptable. And let's be honest, he's not wrong. Rangers fans expect standards, passion, and fight. Right now, they're getting mediocrity and excuses. The potential for swathes of empty seats at Ibrox would send a message loud and clear to the board. An empty stadium, devoid of the noise and passion that makes it a fortress, would be a damning indictment of this season's failure. And for Stewart, seeing half-empty stands would be more than embarrassing. It would be a public declaration of no confidence. If Ibrox starts to empty, should Patrick Stewart finally pull the trigger on Clement, or does the board risk alienating the support beyond repair? The rumor mill is spinning once again, this time with Hamza Igamani at the center of the storm. Everton are reportedly circling with whispers of a potential £8 million bid that could test Rangers' resolve come the summer transfer window. The Moroccan forward, signed for just £2.5 million last summer, has become a fan favourite despite a recent dip in form. Igamane's raw talent is undeniable. 13 goals in 30 appearances is a respectable return, especially considering he was gradually introduced to the squad. He's entertained the Ibrox faithful with his flair and commitment, earning plaudits from Rangers legend Ally McCoist, who recently described him as magic. Yet it's that same spark that has caught the attention of clubs south of the border, with not just Everton sniffing around, but also reported interest from West Ham, Newcastle, and Tottenham. Pundit Derek Ferguson has warned that a substantial offer could force Rangers' hand. Money talks, he said. If Everton or anyone else puts £6 to £8 million on the table, the club might have a decision to make. And he's right. With Rangers facing a turbulent domestic campaign and financial realities to consider, rejecting such profit might seem impractical. But here's the dilemma. Selling Igamane now could send a message of surrender. It could signal that the club is willing to sacrifice talent for short-term gain, especially when the league gap to Celtic already feels like a chasm. On the other hand, cashing in could provide funds for reinforcements, assuming Clement or whoever is in charge spends wisely. If an £8 million offer arrives in the summer, should Rangers cash in on Igamane while his stock is high, or would selling him signal a lack of ambition to finally overtake Celtic? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.